Hey you guys, it's Marianne, and I just wanted to go over essay organization really quick. Let me do this. Let me do this. So just pretend that these squares represent different elements of the essay or different sections of the essay or different paragraphs. So like the introduction could be one or two paragraphs. It just depends on how long your essay is going to be. Your first body paragraph, we'll put a square for that. Second body paragraph, we'll put a square for that. Third body paragraph, we'll put a square for that. You could have any number of body paragraphs. The main thing is that they link up or relate to the thesis statement. And then the conclusion is in another square. So if we go back up to the introduction, it always starts out with a hook, and a hook could be a notable quotation, it could be a startling statistic, it could be an anecdote, which is a short story, or maybe even a question, but definitely not a yes or no question. And then some background information. Sometimes you might need to set terms, the definitions of terms, so that your audience knows the terms that you're going to be using throughout the paper. And then that way it'll be sort of like a baseline uh, background information kind of thing that they should know. It could be a modern day event, maybe a historical event. Maybe it could even be, you know, uh, just a list of topics that I could have talked about this, or, here's another topic that relates to the topic that I chose, but I ended up choosing this topic. I mean, of course, you're not going to have that conversational tone, but it mainly gives some background information on your topic so that your reader has some reference point. And then we have the thesis statement. The thesis statement is one statement that talks about what the paper is about. So we'll go into further information about all of those. But when we get to the body paragraphs, you want a topic sentence, so that's right here. And then we want to talk about some claims that you want to make or points that you want to bring up. Again, they should all relate back to this topic sentence. And then that topic sentence should relate right back to the thesis. There should be a clear delineation between the thesis statement, topic sentences, and the content that you have in your paragraphs. So you can support your statements or your claims with direct quotes from credible sources, paraphrases, summaries. It could be personal experience if you have some. It could be, again, modern day examples. Um, any of that information could supplement and support or anchor your claim. Make sure you have those citations. Again, we're just reviewing the elements of an essay right now in the organization. And then make sure that you have a concluding sentence. And then if you have a narrative, which is a story, make sure that you have some narrative techniques in there. This is just a screenshot that I took, and I thought I would put it in there in case whatever I wrote doesn't make sense to you. And really, the second body paragraph is the same thing. Third body paragraph is the same thing. And then in the conclusion, there's not an order to these. Uh, you could put them in any order that you want. You need to restate the thesis in different words. It can't be the same thesis statement from the introduction. You summarize the main points of your paper. And you do that by sprinkling in bits and pieces from your body paragraphs. Like you're trying to tell your reader, hey, remember when I talked about this? And hey, remember when I talked about this? And hey, remember when I talked about that? So an optional thing is a call to action. You can ask your reader to think about something. Hey, you read my essay. Now, before you go ahead and do something, think about it first. Or maybe you want them to take action. Maybe, tell them, think about what you wrote, and then tell them to go conquer the world or whatever. But anyways, this is sort of a visual of the essay organization that I wanted to talk to you about. And I hope this helps.